low price every day.
It is a beautiful day in Denver, and the fans here ready for some baseball as the Braves looking for their first win in this 4-game series. Hey guys, I'm Jen Hildreth. So happy to be back with you after my time covering the Women's World Cup. Also happy to see those sunny skies and some quote-unquote regular starting pitchers. It's been an interesting series so far. In the first 2 games of this series, this is what the Braves had to face. In fact, not just what, but who. 11 different pitchers that the Rockies have used. And tell you what, the Braves were lucky if they had a chance to see any of these guys more than once in a game. So today, maybe we'll get a little bit more back to normal, but maybe being the key word there. Here at Coors Field, you never know. And Cameron Maben said, you always have to be ready for anything.
And just got to roll with the punches. You know, I've played in this division for the last few years, so, you know, nothing that I've seen has been a surprise for me. You know, it was just some of the things you get sometimes playing in, you know, these places, Pittsburgh, chances you can lose a starter and it can become a bullpen game. And it's been a crazy two days, but hopefully we can get back on track and get back on schedule.
Well, hey, let's just hope that Cameron stays on schedule. He has a hit every game in the month of July. Let's hope he keeps that going, extends it to 11 straight games with a hit today, and helps the Braves bring in some runs against Jorge De La Rosa and the Rockies. We've got the first pitch coming up in just a few minutes. Beautiful day here in Denver. Chip and Joe will have the call when we come back.
Denver, Colorado, Coors Field, Game 3 of our series between the Braves and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Time for the Braves bats to wake up. They have just 18 hits so far in the first 2 games of this set. They've scored just 6 runs. That is not like a visiting ball club here in Denver, Colorado. And with this Academy Sports and Outdoors starting 9, perhaps they'll support Matt Whistler, who seeks his 4th big league win. Cameron Maben leads off. Jace Peterson gets the day off. That means Pedro Siriaco will bat and play second. Nick Markakis is the right fielder, batting third, with Chris Johnson, the cleanup man, at first base. Juan Uribe is at third. Johnny Gomes is in left again. Andrelton Simmons, the shortstop. Ryan Lavarnway behind the plate, batting 8th. And Matt Whistler will pitch and bat 9th. Pitching is always a challenge here in Denver. And as we mentioned a moment ago, the Rockies have been in search of someone who can stabilize their rotation at home. And Joe, despite the home numbers for Jorge De La Rosa this year, this man's the winningest pitcher in Colorado Rockies history. It's amazing.
As a Colorado Rocky, he came over from Kansas City in a trade. But as a Colorado Rocky, he's 75-48. His last 9 starts after a rough start because of a groin injury, 6-1, sub-3 ERA. That's not too shabby. But it's his home record that jumps out at us, and we talked about this a little bit already. 47-16 at Coors Field with a 4.22 ERA. And his last 4 seasons at home, he's 22-5. He's not overpowering, low 90s. He's got a good cutter, and he's got a split change that he uses that sometimes we're told looks like a slider, and he throws that more than anything else. So this guy out of Monterrey, Mexico, 6'1", 215, 34 years old. He knows how to pitch here. He needs to share that with some of his teammates.
Those 47 home wins, 11 more than the next closest Colorado Rocky. Amazing. Here's their defense. Covering the outfield gaps, always a challenge here. Speedy outfield. Barnes, Blackman, and Gonzalez across the past year here. LeMahieu and Arenado are all-stars. Troy Tulowitzki back in the lineup after missing Shelby Miller's start last night. Then Paulson, the Georgia kid, at first base. And Michael McHenry, the former Pittsburgh Pirate catcher, is behind the plate. Weather, always a concern here in Denver. Low humidity at the moment, 86 degrees. Forecast for mostly sunny skies all afternoon. However, that's the direction where you got to pay attention to. If the clouds darken in that part of the world, that means bad weather's approaching Denver, and they've had, and we've had, enough weather interruption for one series. Time to get a win. Braves start play today with a 42-45 record, still only 5 games behind the Nationals. Both the Braves and Washington have lost their last 3 games in a row.
The Braves are 5-12 in their last 17 games on the road. They got to get that turned around in the second half too.
So Cameron Maybin leads off. He's had a marvelous July. He's got a hit in all 10 Braves games this month. And a quick strike, says Paul Emmel, today's home plate umpire. 15 hits for Maybin this month, including a couple of homers. And he's sitting around 295 with his batting average. 44 knocked in. And that's out of play to the right side. And a fan with an umbrella protected him or herself and forced a deflection all the way into the lower bowl.
That was pretty good.
That's off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I liked what Cameron said to Jen a moment ago, and that was after playing in this division for several years, nothing surprises him at Coors Field.
Taken low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's the changeup that he grips like a split finger pitch.
And Maybin took strike 3. That's how our game starts. A called 3rd strike for the Braves leadoff man. 1 down.
That was the cutter. A little flatter. The changeup, the split change, is going to have a little more sink to it. His last start against Arizona, he won 6-4, 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Now he does walk some guys. He's walked 18 in his last 37 innings.
Also had a milestone strikeout in that game. He punched out Paul Goldschmidt for number 1,000 as a major league pitcher. And he's ahead of Pedro Siriaco, who's giving Jace Peterson the day off with a tough lefty on the mound for the Rockies. Lollipop, strike 2. It's safe to say De La Rosa has been a well-traveled professional pitcher. Signed by Arizona as a non-drafted free agent way back in 1998. Then he went to Monterrey and pitched in the Mexican League in 2000. And he just struck out Siriaco. Back-to-back strikeouts begins his day. The Red Sox then purchased him. And then he was traded to Arizona.
Change up.
Let me correct that. He was acquired by Arizona and then traded to Boston for Curt Schilling. After the Red Sox got him, after Arizona got him, I should say, he was traded for Richie Sexson. That's how he ended up in Milwaukee, then Kansas City, and now Colorado, where he's come back from Tommy John surgery. Swing and a miss by Nick Markakis. Nothing but strikes so far, it seems, for De La Rosa.
I think it's safe to say he's found a home.
Yeah.
You're right about the Braves offense, though. Got to get it cracking today. Not going to be easy against this guy, but to come into Coors Field and only score in 2 innings in 2 games, highly unusual.
Just 3 extra base hits for the Braves so far in Denver. The Rockies, by contrast, have 13. That's at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Kelly Johnson backed up what Jen was talking about with all those pitchers. 11 different pitchers in the first 2 games. You see a guy once, you don't see him again. And as Kelly said, some of these guys none of us have ever seen before. We got no history with them.
It's like a spring training game, was what Kelly was talking about. And that's out of play, foul. Markakis still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. De La Rosa struck out the side in the opening inning. Let's see if Matt Whistler can match that effort. His first pitch in Denver's coming up. Big weekend series before the All-Star break. Let's see what Matt Whistler has in store against the 37-49 Rockies today.
He's 3-1 with a 3.13 ERA, just 22 years old. Here are the batting average against him: first, second, third time through the order. See, it does gradually get a little better because they're getting their first look at him too. His 4 keys to pitching success today: top 4 guys in the order today. 13 for 29 in the series, 5 doubles, a triple, a homer, 4 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. They're good. And Lozo. We are in low dough. today he's got to be thinking about low zone, baby. Low zone. Keep it down.
He made a good point last start. Got away with some pitches up in the strike zone in Milwaukee. And his first a good fastball, but off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes for Charlie Blackmon. 4 for 9 at the plate so far in the first 2 games. That's an even count.
He's 4 for 9. Arenado 4 for 9. Gonzalez 4 for 8.
And Charlie's done a good job leading off the Rockies Academy Sports lineup. Good young hitters up and down this starting 9. And that's a base hit for Blackmon.
Well, we've seen a lot of that too.
Yep.
Like a good pitch in. It was. Broke his bat. But it'll drop for a hit. Did I see Tulowitzki's name in the lineup?
He's in there, believe it or not.
He is.
Hitting third.
So he dodged Shelby Miller with his 21-game streak on the line, but he decided he'd go back in the lineup today against a rookie pitcher. Is that what I'm seeing?
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to rest him so he could enjoy the fireworks.
Maybe he had a stomach ache last night. Who knows?
Here's Arenado. He's hitting .291, 24 homers, 69 RBIs. He's a worthy all-star. And a pop fly out of play. Strike 1.
This guy gets more impressive every time we see him, doesn't he?
I like him a lot.
Yeah, boy. It's a little bit like a young Matt Diaz. Much younger.
Arenado's 24 out of Newport Beach, California. Blackmon just back in time. Got to keep an eye on him with 23 steals.
Had 2 yesterday.
Put in perspective, Arenado played 111 games last year, hit 18 homers and knocked in 61. He's got 24 and 69 homers and RBIs, and he's halfway through this season. Strike.
Good hook. You've not seen Whistler pitch before. 4-pitch guy. 92 to 94 fastball. Curveball, slider change. He's got a real good curveball. Big lead for Blackmon.
2-strike pitch. Runner holds and popped out of play. I would think that breaking ball for Whistler a real encouraging sign. He's heard all the horror stories about how your off-speed stuff, your breaking stuff doesn't work the same here in Denver. That pitch looked right on target.
Low zo. If you're going to miss, though, miss low.
Yeah.
If you're going to miss, bounce it. Don't hang it. And another chance to see it right here.
Another half step by Blackmon at first, not going, and a swing and a miss. Arenado didn't get the hook. So Whistler has his first strikeout. All 4 outs in the game so far have been whiffs. 1 down.
Look where it is. Down in the zone, right at the top of the dirt by the time Lavarnway caught it. Outstanding pitch. Hey, Tulo's back in there. Shocker.
Hitting .318. Career-long 21-game hitting streak for Troy Tulowitzki. It's the longest streak in the big leagues. In 2015, strike 1. He's also reached base in 36 consecutive games. That streak started May 26th. Missed inside, even count.
I think Tulowitzki thought that had him. I thought it did from our vantage point.
I'll bet if you ask folks in this town, as the Rockies ponder how to move forward as a franchise, I'd be very interested in the mixed bag of responses that you might receive as to what they should do with Troy Tulowitzki. Blackman leads at first. And Whistler missed downstairs. Now that Todd Hilton is retired, Troy Tulowitzki is the face of this franchise. He's been hurt a lot. When he's healthy, he's one of the best hitters. Terrific shortstop. But they haven't won with him.
No, they haven't. So you got to make a decision as to, do you do status quo and try to add some pitching to what you have lineup wise? Or do you get younger like the Braves have done?
A lot of teams in the National League West that would like to see him traded out of the division. That's understandable. He's a great hitter. Swing and a miss. He is just 30 years old. He'll turn 31 this October. 4-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover. As I said, injury after injury after injury. Tulowitzki's played 150 games in the big leagues once since the start of the 2008 season, including 91 last year. So doing a good job of keeping Blackman close at first.
Good move. If his point was to try to draw a throw and to see what his best move is, he's done that almost to the extent of getting picked off.
That's tipped and caught by Lavarnway. Tulowitzki didn't get a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So 2 strikeouts for Matt in the first inning.
Tied him up inside. I don't know if it's been by design the first 2 games, Chip, but I don't think the Braves have pitched inside enough in this series to keep them honest on any breaking balls you might be able to muster in this high altitude.
I think you said that last night. They have not missed many barrels, have they?
No, they haven't. And this guy in particular, the Braves have pitched him away and he's worn them out.
Cargo with 4 extra base hits in the series, 3 doubles and a homer. His home run was a cannon shot to straightaway center.
443 feet.
He's another potential trade candidate for Colorado. Under contract through 2017.
Target away. Good pitch. But going back to that Maddox comment I used in Milwaukee, and I use all the time, hitters will tell you, are trying to tell you something, and look how Gonzalez stands off the plate, open stance off the plate, and then dives in.
That ball is stroked to deep center field. Cargo has hit a 2-run homer. That's a home run any place, folks. He murdered that pitch. 13th home run, and the Rockies lead 2-0.
At some point, the Braves are going to figure out they can't pitch him out there. I mean, that's almost the identical pitch that he hit out off Shelby Miller.
So De La Rosa has an early lead. Here's Michael McHenry, the catcher. And he takes so little low.
And what's sad about that is that Whistler's off to a great start. He's pitching to the target, and he made a pitch to the target, and it was hit out of the park.
So 5 extra base hits for Carlos Gonzalez in the series. Now Mike McHenry flies toward right. Glasses gleaming for Nick Markakis at the line. Gets there in fair territory. And that retires the side. 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, but 2 big Colorado runs after 1. Rockies lead early. When the Marlins come to town. Join us for great autograph opportunities Friday. Saturday, a big day. The first 20,000 fans will receive a 1995 World Series replica ring. Join us also for the 6th annual Legends softball game on Saturday, too. Go to Braves.com for all your ticket information. Cargo, another home run to center field, puts the Rockies up 2-0. Chris Johnson, Juan Uribe, and Johnny Gomes go to work against De La Rosa. Chris has 5 hits in his last 10 at-bats. And over the inside corner, a strike. Can't imagine what it would be like to face a pitcher like this. Nothing's straight, nothing's the same speed, nothing's in the same spot in the strike zone. Out of play, 0-2.
And he gives you that double leg kick pause at the top. Try to throw your timing off. Five of his last 6 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less. So if you don't know much about De La Rosa today, we're giving you a boatload.
He's retired all 4 Braves he's seen via the strikeout.
That's the split change up.
De La Rosa averages less than a strikeout per inning. He's 4 for 4. Now Uribe, the batter, at .275 with 7 homers and 20 knocked in. Moved his feet, ball 1.
Maben and Uribe have faced him more than anyone else in the lineup. Naturally, they've been in the Western Division. Uribe, 33 at bats. Might have been able to share what he knows about him to some of his teammates.
That's hit high in the air, deep toward left. Barnes back, and that ball's gone. Uribe breaks up the impressive start by De La Rosa with a long solo homer. And that cuts the Colorado lead in half.
My goodness, Juan hits the ball hard. That's 5 homers and 7 RBIs in his last 14 games. We're only in the second inning of this one.
7 homers in 40 games for the Braves. So Atlanta's on the board. Here's Johnny Gomes. Gomes has hit a homer against De La Rosa before. And in his career is 3 for 4 against him. Lightning strike by Uribe. First run of the day for the Braves. And now Gomes takes low. It's an even count.
He will drop his arm down. We've seen already on his fastball. That was 91. He'll drop his arm angle down just a little bit. Try to create a little extra sink.
Gomes is retired. 5 strikeouts for De La Rosa.
First one was on that cutter to Maben that he took for strike 3. I think the rest of them have been all change up.
Most big league hitters love to come to Denver, Colorado and swing the bat. Andrelton Simmons is a rare exception. He's 1 for 8 in this series and is a career 152 hitter at Coors Field. Up out of play, and a swinging strike for the Braves shortstop.
See splits like that from a right-handed hitter. It makes you wonder what their mindset is or what their plan is against lefties.
Ground ball. Tulo's got it. Quick release. Threw a sinker to first, and that's the ball in play for an out for Mr. De La Rosa. The only other ball in play left the yard in a vapor trail. Uribe a solo homer. It's now 2-1 Colorado.
The bomb by Juan Uribe. And Why not let Uribe have a big game today? First of all, he's faced De La Rosa more than anybody else, and it happens to be bobblehead night back at Dodger Stadium with his former team, and his former teammate Yasiel Puig tweeted and put on Instagram, the first fan to bring a Juan Uribe fathead to Dodger Stadium, that would be tonight, he did this yesterday, would get a signed ball from him. So let's hope, fellas, let's hope somebody's got one of those Uribe fatheads in Dodger Stadium tonight.
I'll bet there are a bunch that show up with them.
High fly ball by Ben Paulson toward left, and Johnny Gomes will make the play, and that's how the home second starts.
It's the 6th game on this road trip, and the opponents have scored in the first inning 5 of them. Putting the offense under the gun every night.
Yep. Fly ball out for Matt Whistler in the second. Now DJ LeMahieu's coming up. LeMahieu had a mini slide about a week ago. Since then, he's figured things out. He's got 12 hits in his last 24 at bats, and he's headed to the All-Star game. LeMahieu from Brother Rice High School in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. He went to LSU. Cubs took him in the second round in 2009. Was traded to Colorado with Tyler Colvin for Ian Stewart and Casey Weathers.
Yeah, that story I was telling last night about the influence Richie Zisk had on him as his manager in A-ball. I think it was at Daytona Beach. Was in the Cubs organization.
Correct. Ground ball towards Siriaco. He makes the play to his right, and there's the second out. 7 men have been seen by Whistler on the Colorado lineup card, and now Brandon Barnes hits.
Chip, I want to show you something. This is their lineup today. One of the things that jumped out at me when I first looked at their lineup was that McHenry was batting behind Gonzalez today. Not Paulson with his 5 homers, or LeMahieu, who's an all-star hitting .309, but McHenry, who doesn't play every day. So in my head, and I know why Walt Weiss did that. He's trying to break up the left-handed hitters. But from the Braves standpoint, when you look at that and have McHenry batting behind Gonzalez to protect him, you know, that's almost a given. Well, then I'll take my chances with McHenry if we get into a spot where, you know, we need an out and have men on base. Again, granted, you don't want to put extra men on base in this ballpark, but I think that's another part of the Carlos Gonzalez factor today that you got to look at.
He's one of their superstar players. The old sports adage, don't let the star beat you. Well, they did in the first inning with a 2-run homer with 2 outs.
The way they're pitching him, I think, is what's beating them.
Yeah.
They're making mistakes by letting him get his arms extended this whole series. But again, if that was the first thing I saw when I looked at their lineup today was, boy, why is McHenry batting behind him?
Barnes tries to split the gap. He does. He's going to try for 2. Gomes got to it, but too late. And Barnes thinking double out of the batter's box. And that's a Coors Field double. You can't defend the bloop, and you can't defend the ball over your head, and you can just dunk one down in between them and run till they throw the ball back to the infield.
It's exactly what it is, a Coors Field double where the ball doesn't go to the wall, it doesn't get past the outfielders, it's actually in between the outfielders, but they got so much ground to cover to try to get to it. That's the result.
And just so you know, my idea for a 4th outfielder was met with universal applause in the Braves dugout. All the extra base hits as this ball's bounced to third, and De La Rosa will jog down to first. A 2-out double does no damage. The Braves bats go to work. 2-1 game after 2 in Denver. The game Sunday, August 9th, free post-game concert. VIP field and backstage passes are available. Get them online at Braves.com today. August 9th will be the Marlins game, a 5:05 Sunday start at Turner Field. Absolutely beautiful day.
Sure is. They had to delay the fireworks show last night by about an hour, but they were able to light the fuses.
Did that count as a weather delay for the Rockies this year?
No.
No. Okay, good. The game finished in relatively short order. This ball is hammered by Lavarnway deep toward right center field, and that ball's going to go. Ryan Lavarnway with a solo shot, his first homer as a Brave, and the game is tied at 2.
That ball was crushed. Way to go, Ryan. Deep into the Braves bullpen. Look out, Eddie.
So Matt Whistler's battery mate has got him even in the game. It's 2-2 here in the third. And Whistler bats with nobody on or out. Looks at a ball low, even count. De La Rosa has given up only 7 home runs this year before today's play. Uribe and Lavarnway have touched him for solo shots. That ball's hit hard towards short. Tulo's got it. 1 out. Last time Ryan Lavarnway hit a home run was September 14th against Jeremy Bonderman of the Tigers. Ryan was a member of the Boston Red Sox. September 14th, 2013.
Well, that was a no-doubter. And we already know that he's only catching sporadically, and yet he's hit in 5 straight games that he's caught.
So 2-2 for the top of the order, Cameron Maybin. That one's bounced right back to the mound. Easy play for De La Rosa. 2 outs. And now Pedro Siriaco. Yeah. Every time this guy gets in the lineup, he does something good. Good defensive play, swinging the bat well, 280 as a starter. Really valuable as a pinch hitter for Freddie Gonzalez. And today with De La Rosa pitching, a chance to give Jace Peterson a day off. Inside corner, Pedro didn't like it.
Pretty obvious with this, especially with that changeup, that you cannot think home run here off of him. The Braves have already hit 2. Looked like Uribe got a fastball, Lavarnway as well, but you got to adjust to the fastball, almost think of it backwards and try to go the other way with all that off-speed stuff.
That was tipped and caught, and that's strikeout number 6 for De La Rosa. But Ryan Lavarnway led off the inning with a solo home run. 2 solo shots by the Braves today. They've tied the game up. have taken away a 2-0 Colorado lead. Let's take a look at our Home Depot tools from the dugout. Another rookie toiling at Coors today.
Tied with the Rays for the most wins by rookie pitchers with 15. Let the Dodgers in there with 13.
You know, Jen mentioned the bobblehead day at Dodger Stadium tonight. It's also a special night. Brandon Beachy is starting for Los Angeles.
Hey, that's great.
Back from his second Tommy John surgery. So we wish Brandon all the luck in the world as he pitches for the Dodgers against Milwaukee. LA won last night 3-2. So Whistler gets the top of the order for a second time. Blackmon, Arenado, and Tulowitzki in the Colorado third. Fouled away at the plate. Rockies wearing their purple uniform tops today with the camouflage numbers and letters. Had a military appreciation ceremony before the game today. In fact, they had parachute jumpers from the 4 major branches of the military land out in center field before first pitch today. Very impressive.
Yeah, that was. Even as big as this ballpark is, I bet it looked like a postage stamp when they jumped out of the plane. Well, he spoils a lot of pitches. We've already seen him in this series get a couple of hits on pitches that looked like they were borderline off the plate. So we know he can cover the outside third. He struck out Tulowitzki in the first inning on a pitch in that tied him up. I think Braves need to do more of that, especially with the top 4 in their lineup today. Now they're moving in.
Fouled straight back.
Didn't quite get it in there, but it's a good idea.
In the air to left. Gomes can't get there. That pitch looked to leak out over the middle of the plate. Blackmon served it into left. He's 2 for 2.
It was a breaking ball that he just wanted to make sure he threw for a strike. So it had a little bit of the too much of the plate, but again, outer third. That seems to be where Blackmon likes it too.
Arenado struck out in the first. Whistler with 2 punch outs. Both came in the opening inning. He got Arenado and Tulowitzki back to back. It's so difficult to gauge the talents of a Rockies hitter. They put up tremendous numbers at home. You figure their road numbers would suffer a bit. Arenado might be an exception to that usually true rule for Colorado offensive players. So he takes a strike. Entering today's play, Nolan Arenado had hit more homers and has more RBIs on the road than he does in his home ballpark. He's got a better average here, hitting over 300. 9 homers, 32 at Coors, 280, 15 and 37 away from home.
Yeah, that's fairly unique among an everyday player for the Rockies. There are people who feel like Todd Helton's fabulous career when it comes to Hall of Fame voting will be somehow clouded by playing here.
Runner goes, and that ball is crushed down the left field line to the back row, out by the walkway. Great catch, and a deep fly ball foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Made a good pitch with a fastball to the outside corner that he took. I think that pitch was in, and he trying to make sure he didn't get his arms extended, and it was, and he blasted it. Boy, is he some kind of good-looking hitter.
Well, did he go in there again? He showed you how quick he is inside.
I don't. I come back with that breaking ball he struck out on in the first.
Runner goes, or started and stopped, popped up. Whistler pointing to the center of the diamond, and Lavarnway makes a basket catch.
Golly.
That took a while, but Lavarnway got there, and Arenado's the first out.
Well, Uribe was playing way back behind the bag for Arenado, and the ball wasn't hit that high. And for a catcher to go out and catch the ball with his back to home plate, that's unusual and a very difficult play. And they did get him on a breaking ball.
So here's Tulowitzki. He struck out swinging. Get it, strike 1. Tulowitzki was on his way to a monster season last year for the Rockies. He was hitting .340 with 21 homers and 52 runs batted in, then got hurt in the second game after the All-Star break. He got hurt July 19th at Pittsburgh and then missed the rest of the season with a left hip injury that required surgery. He's come back with a solid, although not spectacular, first half this year for the Rockies. No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Tulowitzki is struck out for a second time.
All right, we're going to show you some of the hits that Gonzalez has ripped in this series, and check out the location on virtually all of them. They're not all fastballs. One in particular is a breaking ball. That one right there that he pulled. But now look at the target. Swing. Double. Double. Homer. Homer. I mean, you could. That's like a size of a quarter, the location of those pitches for all those drives that he's hit.
That one had a lot of the plate, and Cargo missed it. Fouled away. Strike 1.
But the attempt was to pitch him in. Tied him up a little bit.
Pop fly foul headed for the stands. It's quickly 0-2.
And that was his spot, and he missed it.
Blackman led off the third inning with a single to left. Arenado popped out. Tulowitzki struck out. Swing and a miss. That was a filthy pitch. And Whistler has his fourth strikeout. The Rockies strand the leadoff man in the third inning. Part of the order up for the Braves. Good ball game. 2-2's your score. To the fourth inning, 2-2 is your score. All the runs have been accounted for by homers. Carlos Gonzalez, a 2-run shot. Start of the hit parade for the Rockies in the first. Juan Uribe, a solo shot in the second. Ryan Lavarnway, a solo homer into the Braves bullpen to start the third.
Hard to believe this park's 20 years old, isn't it?
Certainly doesn't look it.
No, they've done a great job taking care of it, making changes to it as they needed to, like the stuff up in the upper deck and right field.
Swing and a miss by Markakis, who struck out to end the Braves first. Yeah, that rooftop area with its upper concourse has become a very popular spot for the Rockies and their fan base. They've got bars, they've got the restaurant, and they've got incredible views of the Rocky Mountains outside the ballpark. Two quick strikes for Nick Markakis. And that's taken high. I mentioned Todd Helton, the greatest Rockies in their franchise's history. While he's no longer playing, he is still thought of on a daily basis in this ballpark. They have the infamous or famous Helton burger. And everybody in our booth is giving it 2 thumbs up, apparently. So we're going to send Jen out. She's our resident soccer analyst and food critic for Braves television. She will report back around the 5th inning. Bouncing ball back to the mound. De La Rosa got Markakis. There's the first out of the 4th. A couple of comebackers for the Rockies lefty.
I didn't know this, but I was just told that this is now the 3rd oldest ballpark in the National League.
Really?
Yeah. Cubs, Dodgers, and Coors Field.
Never would have guessed that.
Nope.
And what's so exciting about Coors Field, besides the arcade-like amount of offense here, is what it's done for downtown. We joke about Lodo, lower downtown. Years and years ago, this was not the best of places to visit in the evening hours. But condos and shops and restaurants. Yes, there are dispensaries here and there scattered about. But it's a terrific place for fans to meet and greet before and after the games. It's really revitalized things in downtown Denver. We've got Invesco Field at Mile High. That's the Broncos football stadium. That's a couple of miles from here. And the Pepsi Center, where the Nuggets and the Avalanche play. That's also just down the street, a mile or so away.
Yeah, walking distance.
Two and two.
See, he's trying to keep the ball in on Chris. As much as Chris likes to inside out the ball, tying him up inside's making it very difficult to do that.
That's outside. That's something that folks have complained about our game, and something that they feel has changed over the last 30-40 years. The lack of inside pitching by guys coming to the major leagues. Three balls, two strikes. There's an art to it. You're not trying to hit people, obviously, but to keep them honest at the plate. Some say the aluminum bat in high school and college ranks has taught young pitchers to stay away from that inner half where guys can just drop the head and crank balls out to their pull side. To short. Tulowitzki to his left. Looked nimble and quick on that play. Nicely done. There's the second out of the inning. And here's the man that got the Braves offense started. Juan Uribe, our Yellowwood brand, bringing the lumber feature.
A low laser hit out of here. There's the 390 mark, so that was a 400-foot blind drive.
Well, it's his bobblehead day. You'd expect him to do something special. And a bouncer foul at third.
That's really cool that the Dodgers are going to go ahead and do that. Of course, I don't know what you do with 40,000 Juan Uribe bobbleheads if you're not going to give them away.
Right. Yeah, it's not like you can send them back to the manufacturer. So we'd like a redo. No balls at a strike. And another shot to left. This one will get down in front of Barnes. Uribe's 2 for 2. And the inning's still alive for Johnny Gomes.
Made a mistake upstairs. And it got tomahawked.
It's outside for Johnny Gomes. Every day the Braves put updated stats on how players performed in each ballpark where the game is being played that day. When I saw Johnny Gomes' line, I had to look twice. This is his 17th career game at Coors Field. He's hit 6 homers and 13 RBIs. 19 hits and now 52 at bats, a .370 or so batting average.
With all that damage.
Yeah. Johnny checked it, and it's a 3-0 count. Now a single and a walk with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Andrelton Simmons.
You talked about Andrelton's struggles in this ballpark. A sharp contrast to Johnny Gomes, but he's hit the ball pretty well in this series and doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. Only 1 hit.
Second hit here would be welcomed with Uribe and Gomes aboard. Andrelton grounded out to his shortstop counterpart, Troy Tulowitzki, back in the second.
Braves are laying off that changeup early in the count at the moment.
That's ripped down the left field line, but he pulled it foul. Long loud strike evens the count.
Just missing in there, not getting the call. So the hitters are getting a little better counts to swing.
Into the second deck, out of play to the right. It's 2-2. De La Rosa was staked to a 2-0 late after an inning. The Braves have hit a couple of homers to tie it up. Got a couple aboard here in the fourth with 2 out.
Out pitches that changeup. See if he tries it again. That was his cutter.
So Uribe and Gomes will be off to the races. Ryan Lavarnway's already homered. He waits on deck. And ball 4. A single and 2 walks with 2 out. You said he walks people from time to time. Well, he's lost the magic here with a couple of quick outs in the 4th inning.
Steve Foster, his pitching coach, out to talk to him. Again, I think it goes to the fact that the Braves aren't swinging early in the count at that off-speed pitch, that changeup. Already a big hit from Lavarnway today to tie it up with a home run. He might be just the right man at the right place right here, feeling good.
There's a strike. Braves are hitting .333 as a team with the bases loaded this year.
That's impressive, isn't it?
You bet. 27 for 81. This is LaVarnway's first crack at it. And he bounced one back to the mound. And De La Rosa is out of 2-out trouble, much of it of his own making. He walked a pair, gave up a hit, but Atlanta leaves him loaded, and we're still tied. Braves take on the Cubs for this year's mother-son game. This ticket package includes a discounted game ticket, an exclusive T-shirt, and inclusion in a pregame parade around the field as well. Don't miss out on this memorable night. You won't be able to resist it. Braves.com/mother-son today.
That will be a fun event. First year I played Little League, I had to use my mom's glove.
Really?
Yeah, she was a softball player.
It wasn't like a pink glove or anything. It was a standard.
No.
Just checking. I mean, you'd be the most stylish kid out there if you'd had the.
I didn't do that nonsense then.
Here's Michael McHenry. His career has come full circle. He was originally drafted by the Rockies out of Middle Tennessee State back in 2006. Went to the Red Sox and the Pirates. Now back with the Rockies. You might recall he was the man behind the plate in the infamous 19-inning game with the Pirates in Atlanta, the little red-haired girl game. And that controversial play at the plate. Whistler struck out 3 in a row, and he's off to a good start in the fourth.
Well, he's had a good breaking ball, and as much as we talk about how difficult it is to throw a breaking ball at Coors Field, he's had a good one today.
He's had a good fastball too, as Ben Paulson took one, strike one. Paulson flied out to left, and 1 for 5 in the series. Line past third and down the left field line. No fan interference. Paulson stops at second with a 1-out opposite field double.
I don't know if Paulson really had his heart into this swing, but he's glad he did. Down and away, breaking ball, good breaking ball. Good grief. He just kind of stuck his bat down there and kept it fair.
Ninth double for Paulson. And now DJ LeMahieu hits. He grounded out to Siriaco in the second. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. 2. Two other National League games are in progress at the moment, both of them in the 5th inning back east. Arizona leads the Mets 2-0. That's Patrick Corbin and Matt Harvey. Reds 2, Miami 1 down at Marlins Park. And downstairs, trouble brewing here. 3 balls, no strikes. And he lost LeMahieu. 2 on, 1 out. 8th place hitters coming up. How close was this?
PNC Bank box track shows you he had a strike, he just didn't get the call.
Barnes doubled in the 2nd. That came with 2 outs. He's got 2 aboard with 1 out here in the home 4th.
He's 3 for 6 in the series.
Almost feels like the Rockies are like an American Legion team. If you're not hitting 400, you're probably not going to play. Or if you are going to play, you're going to be at AAA.
Yes.
That got a strike call there, even count.
I think I'd try that again. Fastball. Got him breaking ball conscious right now.
That's out of play, foul.
And he did, and he was late on it. Now ahead in the count, you might get him to expand his zone with that breaking ball. Or top one and hit it right back to you and start a double play.
You'd think Braves would have a pretty good idea how to pitch Brandon Barnes. A couple of years ago, he was an Astro when Bo Porter was the Houston manager. Bo, of course, now the Braves' third base coach. Last year, Barnes hit 8 homers. The first 2 he hit were inside the park homers. And he is going to have a seat. They did go inside, and Barnes took it.
Good fastball, well located, got the call that time. Strikeout number 6. Well, look at Lavarnway receive that. I mean, there's just no wasted motion. It helps when your pitcher is hitting the target, but a nice job of framing that, receiving it from Lavarnway.
2 on, 2 out now for the pitcher, De La Rosa. Bounces one towards short. Simmons got it and wins the race to the second base bag. And that retires the side. Whistler had some 4th inning trouble, and he'll lead off the Braves' 5th.
Braves. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Talk about a bird's eye view of downtown Denver and Coors Field. We told you they had the military parachute squad before the ball game. And that man is trying to hit that target right in center field.
And they did, every one of them. And they would swoop in right over the top of the roof along the third baseline and go sliding into center field. It was pretty impressive. Wow.
Matt Whistler will lead off the Braves' fifth, tie game 2 apiece. From an offensive standpoint, today's game is a far cry from what we're used to seeing here in Denver. Just 8 combined hits and 4 combined runs through 4 innings on a bright sunny day. Out of play foul.
Rockies are 17-16 in day games, so their best work has been in the sunshine. The Braves are 10-16.
One of our crew members, let's go back to that shot of the parachutists, had a great line. Getting somebody to jump out of an airplane, easy to do the first time.
Yeah.
Line foul. I don't know if I could do that. Why jump out of a perfectly good airplane? But I'm sure it's quite a rush.
And those guys are navigating around light towers.
Fly ball, pretty well hit, but playable for Cargo. And he makes the play for first out. He had 5 parachute jumpers. 4 of them landed right around center field. 1 of them overshot the target. And I'm in no way poking fun, but he ended up in straightaway right field, about where Carlos Gonzalez is playing. I wonder if he took a little ribbing from the rest of his mates. Hey, man, you were off by 150 feet from 15,000 feet above. Those are incredible folks, men and women of our military, and they were saluted before the game today. Rolled out the big Old Glory flag. Braves country honoring Cameron Maben's 10-game hitting streak. Our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. He's off to an 0-for-2 start today. Pedro Ciriaco to follow. By the way, we did promise you Jen will be sampling the Helton burger. Last check, she was in line someplace. I don't know if that's all the way up on the rooftop. There's a Helton burger stand. There it is, it left. Probably doing great business today. Back to the mound. De La Rosa makes another play, 2 outs.
And again, for Cameron, off-speed pitches today. He's been way out in front. He's hit 2 comebackers, almost identical.
Ciriaco has struck out twice. And he'll bat with the bases empty. Colorado will have the top of its order coming up in their half of the 5th. Down the left field line. That's going to be trouble. That'll ricochet around in the corner, and Pedro Ciriaco has a 2-out double. His 6th 2-base hit of the year, and a chance for Nick Markakis to put the Braves in front.
Seems like every time he elevates his fastball at all, the Braves nail it. A couple of times for homers today.
That's the 4th Braves hit. Nick Markakis bats, seeking RBI number 29.
Take a look at these batting averages against De La Rosa for the year. How about the fact that with 2 out men in scoring position, just a 100 average against him?
Another reason why he's the best Rockies starter. 6-3. Trying to turn around his home fortunes, where things have not gone very well for him this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He was 14-11 last year. 2013, he was 16-6 for these guys with a 3.49 ERA.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And Markakis has chased that pitch a couple of times today, and it struck him out twice. De La Rosa's good work with 2 outs risk continues. He's still tied at 2.
An incentive to come out and get a burger, but thanks, Chip. I decided to pay a visit out here to the Helton Burger Shack in left field. It's the only place you can get the Helton Burger, which, by the way, proceeds from the sale of every burger. Some of them go to Colorado charity, so I feel like I'm doing something good here, other than just make you guys hungry. Here it is. Okay, Helton Burger. Got to take a big bite. That's how I know I'm fully back on the Braves broadcast.
See, all that salmon that you had to endure up in Vancouver during the World Cup, now you're back in the States. You got the burger, you got the onion rings.
Wow, huge rings. I thought it was a very good touch, Jen, that They played Donna Summers working hard for her money.
I am working hard for my money right now.
Well, how's the burger? How's the burger?
I have to tell you, it's really good.
Really?
It has like a Thousand Island dressing and some cheese and onions. I took the pickles off, though, but really good.
I am hungry all of a sudden. Pop up into left. Gomes is going to come in and make the play. And there's out number one. That's great, though, that they remember Todd Helton here, and that the proceeds of that stand go to charities here in town. Really miss seeing Todd Helton when we come to the ballpark. Great guy, for a Tennessee Volunteer, that is. Great player, and hope that Todd Helton will someday have a place reserved for his career in Cooperstown. Fly ball out, begins the Rockies' fifth off the bat of Charlie Blackmon. Here's Arenado. Matt Whistler has retired him twice. Once on a strikeout, once on a pop out. And another chance in left for Gomes. He's going to have to play this one on a ricochet. It's high off the fence. Throw coming in towards second. It's going to be not in time. Arenado somehow avoided the tag. Mark Ripperger's the second base umpire. He had a good look at it. The ball beat the base runner, and the Braves might want to ask for a video review.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a swim move put on Siriaco or not, but this was another great throw off the wall by Johnny Gomes. Almost a home run. Throw beat him, and he looked safe. Pulls the right hand back.
There's no question the ball beat the base runner. The question is there conclusive evidence to change the call?
I didn't see anything. But watch Johnny Gomes again. This ball hit right under the yellow line. Perfectly played by Johnny. One hop throw. Tag on the chest, and then as Siriaco was kind of following him with the glove, kind of gave me the impression that they didn't get him, and there's no review.
22nd double for Arenado, and now Tulowitzki bats. He has struck out swinging twice, and he's been late a lot. Rockies try to make a last-ditch fan push to get Troy Tulowitzki into the All-Star game as the final fan vote. In the end, Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals was the man who won that vote.
He wants no part of that breaking ball so far. He's been flinching and struck out on a fastball in his first time up. Ahead in the count now, and Whistler and LeBarnway have a chance to not have to throw a strike, see if he'll chase.
Back to the screen, out of play.
Best fastball of the day, I think. 96. That's bringing it.
Tulo pops one up and flips the bat away in disgust. Had a pitch to hit, and he skies out to right. 2 down. He's 0 for 3. And now here's Cargo. He had a 2-out, 2-run homer in the first, and then struck out in the third on a terrific breaking ball.
Yeah, and here's exactly that situation I was talking about earlier with their lineup. They've got a base open. Much rather deal with McHenry.
So the pass will be issued. Cargo will be walked intentionally. They will go after the Colorado catcher. And there's ball 4, so it will be Michael McHenry. He's popped out and he has struck out. Whistler's had base runners in every inning. The only runs he allowed came in the first. Low ball 1.
So take advantage of the way the lineup was constructed today for the Rockies. Instead of having LeMahieu an all-star or Paulson a power hitter up there, you've got the backup catcher who hasn't played in a while.
The strategy, though, requires you retire this man, because if you don't, then Paulson and LeMahieu are coming up next.
Right.
So.
This is your spot. This
Right.
is the spot in the batting order you go to, with all due respect to McHenry.
Pop fly foul, and he's ahead of the Colorado catcher. A ball and 2 strikes.
Quick discussion about what LaVarnway's thinking about how to retire him. If they go for the outright here, if it's a setup pitch for the next one.
Arenado doubled off the fence to left with 1 out. Tulo fly to right. Cargo intentionally walked, and now a 1-2 pitch to Michael McHenry. Is low, 2-2.
Still like that pitch. If it was down and away, they're coming in though. Must be fastball. It was, and tied him up.
Now the runners will be off with a 3-2 count.
Because those other 2 guys are coming up, you don't want to mess around here. You got to go right after him.
Here comes the payoff pitch with 2 outs. He got him with a breaking ball.
I'm surprised. It was a beauty though.
Matt Whistler is dealing in Denver. That is his 7th strikeout. And we're tied after 5. He serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.tv today. Matt Whistler has impressed this crowd in Denver today. He has struck out 7, and he's got a 2-2 score heading to the top of the 6th inning.
Bonus through the lineup. Second time through, a big dip on De La Rosa. Just kind of hard to figure out since it bumps back up to 296 after that. Braves are in their 3rd time through.
Chris Johnson starts it off. He's 0 for 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Rockies have perhaps the most unique hitting background in the major leagues. They have a big green wall in straightaway center with the ivy, the waterfalls, fountains, and of course the trees out there right behind the wall at 415 feet from home plate. Got to put some trout out there and let the players fly fish. So search for shade in the Braves portion of the bullpen. Toward third, Arenado, good play. Patty cakes and fires a strike.
If that were the Unicoi outfitters out there from North Georgia, I'd say, yeah, go ahead and get them rigged up. But I don't think Eddie Perez allows fly fishing rods and reels out there during the game.
That looks like a trout stream out there, doesn't it?
No.
No?
Ever been in a trout stream?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. See waterfalls all the time in the trout stream. I never catch any fish.
I was going to say right there in Central Florida.
No. One ball, no strikes for Juan Uribe. He hit a home run here today. And he took a shot at right and fouled it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
That was his cutter. But on his changeup all day long, he's hit pretty much the same spot. It kind of dies right at the plate. And the Braves hitters have been swinging over the top of it or topping it back to him all day long. He's had great command of it.
You don't have to throw 98 miles an hour to be successful at this level. De La Rosa doesn't, and he is successful. Johnny Gomes on deck. Popped up. Paulson flips the shades down. Adjusted them. And the play won't be made. It's in the stands. 2-2. Saw him reach up under the bill of his cap. I don't know if he wears the flip down shades or not. Todd Helton did. Paulson might wear the sunglasses full time. Another souvenir.
And spoiling some good pitches. A couple of cutters, fastball. stay away from him, trying not to let him turn on anything. And there's that spot again.
Tulowitzki dives, scrambles to his feet, throws to first. Beautiful play. Highway robbery by Troy Tulowitzki.
Yeah, terrific play by the former Gold Glover. Got to his feet, and you know, when he's feeling a routine ball where he's coming across the diamond, sometimes he kind of gives you a sidearm flip. Boy, not here. Got over the top.
That ends Uribe's perfect day. 2 are outs for Gomes, who has struck out and walked today. Braves have 2 runs on 4 hits. The Rockies 2 runs on 6 hits.
You've been talking about the grass. Maybe it would help their pitchers if they let the infield grass grow a little taller. It's cut low and short and tight. It is a fast infield.
One ball, no strikes. I don't know if they can grow the grass any thicker or deeper than it is. Just don't know.
It's Rex Brothers loosening up.
There's a strike. It's 2-1. That would, I think, be the most frustrating thing about pitching here. You know you're going to give up home runs and doubles and the like, but when you get the ball on the ground to not be rewarded as the ball shoots through the infield, that's going to be awful. Another chance left side. Tulowitzki. Long throw to first gets Gomes. 3 ground ball outs from De La Rosa. Sends our game to the home 6th. It's a good game. 2-2 your score. Game, and it's trivia time. The AT&T Uvers trivia question. Whistler off to a 3-1 start. What Braves rookie has the highest number of wins in a season with a minimum of 20 starts? Most wins by a starter by a Braves rookie, minimum 20 starts, is the trivia question today.
It's a good question.
And Paulson leads off and takes the ball high.
Got a lot of nominees.
Yeah.
Kevin Millwood, Steve Avery, Rick Mailer. I don't think it was Tom Glavine.
Back in those days,
wins, right?
Back in those days, wins were a little tough to come by. In the late 80s until 1991. Back to the screen. I hope fans enjoyed the John Smoltz driven episode that debuted last night. Early returns were rave reviews. Emmy Award winning series on Fox Sports. Featured John, and this is Hall of Fame year as the ball pops away from LeVarn way, but a friendly bounce will mean Paulson will stop at first with a leadoff walk. Third walk from Whistler. And we're in danger territory. You mentioned before the game, if they can get 6 out of this kid today in this environment for the first time, the Braves would be dancing in the streets.
Yes.
And with that leadoff walk in the bottom part of the order up, the Braves will get the bullpen busy.
Only 3 ground ball outs today. I'd like one here.
LeMahieu swinging a hot bat. He's grounded out and walked today. 4 multi-hit games in the last 6. And this one's skied to the right side. Long run, Siriaco. Johnson's there too. Who wants it? It'll be Siriaco who made the play. The Braves second baseman ranged into foul ground, and with Chris Johnson on his hip pocket, made a terrific catch.
I couldn't see that either one of them, and I didn't hear them from up here, either one of them calling for it. Chris just assumed he was the guy who's going to have to do it. But Pedro made a long run because he's playing up the middle for a potential double play ball, and he's the one that made the grab. That's a big out for the pitcher when you can get a catch like that from a tough hitter like LeMahieu.
Brandon Barnes is the batter. And for all we talk about how hitter friendly this park is, one thing they do give the pitchers is a lot of foul ground. Pretty good bit of it from the midway point between the infield dirt and that angled cutout down the right field line. Trick is getting him to hit it in foul territory and then having your infielders and outfielders able to catch up. It's still a long run for him. Barnes was fooled on that pitch. He's had excellent command of his off-speed stuff today.
Sure has. And first and foremost, key number 2, Lozo. He's been low in the zone and just out. That breaking ball he threw McKendry to strike him out to end the 5th was a beaut.
To short. Can they turn 2? There's 1. Long throw to first. They do turn a double play. Ground ball outs from Whistler have been few and far between, but that was perfect timing to end the 6th. Off we go to the 7th, still tied at 2.
behind him. Pedro Ciriaco turning that double play along with Andrelton Simmons to end the inning. And I talked to Pedro, and he said that that's one of the things he's worked the most on, is turning that double play, the footwork from the second base position. He's much more used to playing third base, shortstop. That's where he spent most of his time prior to joining this team. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment. Always good to see hard work pay off.
You're right, Jen. And hard work from Carlos Tosca and Terry Pendleton, who have been instrumental in helping Jace Peterson and Ciriaco, for that matter, with their work at second base. And it paid off with a nice turn on an inning-ending double play. Now we head to the 7th. And the pride of Lipscomb University, Rex Brothers, is on to pitch for Colorado.
He's been with the Rockies for the last 4 years and pitched in a lot of ball games. Last 3 years, 75 games, 72, 74. Just called up. You saw his numbers at Albuquerque.
He's the 13th different pitcher the Braves have seen in this series. Wow. For the Rockies ball club. And we've got a game to play here tomorrow before the All-Star break. Simmons, Lavarnway, and then we'll see for Atlanta. And downstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. There's a strike. Sure, Colorado's trying to figure out what's happened to Rex Brothers. 2 years ago, this man pitched in 72 games to a 1.74 ERA and saved 19 games. Last year, his ERA ballooned to 5.59. He's rallied to fill up the count.
Good live fastball the last 2. 6 feet, 210. Out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
3-2 pitch is bounced out to LeMahieu. Tricky hop. That caught the lip of the grass. The All-Star second baseman stayed with it. And a nice comeback for Brothers. There's the first out of the inning. Last 4 outs have been on the ground from the Colorado pitching staff. De La Rosa, 6 innings of 4-hit, 2-run ball. Both runs on solo homers. One by Juan Uribe. One by the man in the batter's box, Ryan Lavarnway. That one ended up in the Braves bullpen.
Now that was his first homer, but wasn't it Ryan who hit one right off the very top of the fence?
Off Matt Harvey.
At home?
Yeah, the yellow line.
Yeah.
That was the game the Braves beat Harvey, and the Mets back in Atlanta. I think 1-0 was the final that day. And that's taken low. Ryan, a nice job today in all facets of the game. Excellent work with Matt Whistler, guiding him through 6 innings. That's low. Started 2 hitters with 3-0 counts. He got Simmons to ground out. Well, let's see what Lavarnway does with Rex Brothers. Ball 4. So Whistler will be called back. And Yuri Perez grabs a bat. He'll pinch hit. Whistler went 6, 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts.
One of those walks intentional.
And that keeps in line with the graphic we talked about early on today in our pregame show. Braves rookie starters in their first game at Coors Field, right around 5 2/3 innings. Well, Whistler an out better than that today.
Great job. Gave up the 2 runs in the first. Could have been something that caused him to panic and try to pitch to the corners and walk a bunch of guys. He didn't do that.
Impressive day for Whistler. We hope Alex Wood will be impressive tomorrow in the final game before the All-Star break. He gets the ball for the Braves. Chad Bettis gets it for the Colorado team. Looking for his first pinch hit for the Braves. He's 0 for 4. That one bounced away from McHenry. He had no chance at all. I mean, that thing hit, good grief, 4 feet in front of the plate and almost in the deepest part of the right-hand batter's box. Yikes.
I can't believe it didn't bounce and hit Perez. Thing barely got to the dirt. A break for Atlanta and a runner in scoring position.
And a new set of signs with that man at second base.
Remember, he started off 3-0 on Simmons.
Walt Weiss, the Colorado skipper. They've won the first 2 games of the series. The Braves trying to rally in game 3 today. And that's way high. 3-1 to Perez. Cameron Maybin waits on deck. Not close. Back-to-back walks with 1 out. And Brothers can't throw the ball over the plate. Atlanta happy about that. And now it's set up for Maybin.
Well, that might have been part of the problem last year when he went from a 174 to a 5.59 ERA. 56 innings last year. He walked 39 guys. To go with 65 hits, so there were base runners everywhere.
Betancourt had just gotten up for Colorado. He's loosening in their bullpen. Braves have Maybin, Siriaco, Markakis. Walt Weiss also has to be concerned with Jace Peterson, who's lurking on the Braves bench. So let's see how it works out. You've got Maybin and that lofty batting average with runners in scoring position. He's got Larnway at second base. And now time is called, and Weiss is looking down at the Rockies bullpen, and apparently he's going to make a change. So a couple of walks with 1 out from Rex Brothers, and it will be Betancourt coming in to face Cameron Maybin. Braves are in business in a 2-2 game. 2 on, 1 out. We're back to Colorado after this. On out, Chip and Joe with you here in Denver, Colorado. Glad to have Jen Hildreth along as well. Braves fans, hope you'll join us for our Freddie Hugs bobblehead night, Tuesday, July 21st. The Los Angeles Dodgers will be in town. The first 20,000 fans through the ballpark gates will get a bobblehead featuring Freddie Freeman hugging Johnny Gomes. Don't miss out on this limited edition bobblehead by going to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. Hope Freddie Freeman will be back by July 21st.
Me too. That'd be great for the lineup. This is Rafael Betancourt. He pitched here 2 nights ago in the opener when they used just about everybody they had. He went an inning and a third, gave up 2 hits, but struck out 3 hitters, including Cameron Maybin, who he'll face here with 2-1. Fastball, slider, change. Double switch. Stubbs goes to left.
And hits 9th, which means he'll bat first in the bottom half of this inning. Cameron Maybin trying to extend his July hitting streak to 11 games. He has struck out and he's hit 2 comebackers to the mound. He enters today's play with a .412 average with runners in scoring position. And he took one tomahawk eye for a strike.
Cut there. Well, Betancourt is fidgety. It's like he's got ants in his uni.
Freddie Johnson used to say he'd make coffee nervous. No balls, 2 strikes. And a fly ball hit towards Stubbs in left, and he'll make the catch. Throw back towards second. Lavarnway just did get back ahead of the throw. Lavarnway was almost doubled up on a fly ball to left.
I don't know if he froze because he thought, or was running because he was thinking there was 2 outs. He may have been looking out there and looked up at the scoreboard and saw there was only 1 and went, uh-oh.
He got back, and now Siriaco hits. Last time up, he doubled to left. Either one of those would be just fine and dandy. And he had a good cut, strike 1. Henry, a nice stop.
Beauty.
1 ball, 1 strike. Great thing about baseball, when you come to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see. Here we are in the 7th inning at Coors Field on a perfect day. These 2 clubs have combined for 4 runs and 10 hits.
Sounds like some pretty good pitching. And it was from both sides. And both of the starters are gone now.
Popped up. Paulson drifts back at first. LeMahieu calls him off and puts the squeeze on that. Braves got a couple of walks with 1 out in the 7th inning, but could not push across the go-ahead run. Time to stretch in Denver.
And what he's done, Matt Whistler has saved the bullpen today by going 6 innings at a hitter-friendly ballpark. Primarily today, a great mixture of his fastball in and his breaking ball. He's kept his breaking ball down all day. Outstanding work. The one mistake cost him 2 runs. Fastball away from Carlos Gonzalez, and he hit it out to center field in the first inning.
So Rodis Vizcaíno will stride in, and he'll work the home half of the 7th inning. He's got Stubbs, Blackmon, and Arenado coming up. Rodis has been very impressive.
He worked the 7th last night, got 2 outs, and issued a walk and a base hit. Had runners at first and third, but he got Descalso to fly out to end the inning.
So a glimpse of the Braves' future today with Matt Whistler starting. There's a great article online from Tracy Ringlesby, one of the best baseball writers there is. He's out here in Denver and follows the Rockies quite a bit. He talks about the upcoming All-Star game and how the game of baseball is in such great hands with the under 30 crowd that's now populating so many major league rosters. There are 38 Major League Baseball All-Stars this year, 27 years of age or younger.
That's great.
And 31 first-time All-Stars. Who knows? Maybe someday Matt Whistler will join those ranks. Shelby Miller, he is on his way to his first All-Star game for the Braves.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in both of those categories.
So I invite you to check it out on MLB.com. Tracy Ringlesby, who has a great title for his column, Write 'em Cowboy. That's what he calls his blog. WRITE, Cowboy.
He won a Speak Award from the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago.
So after the stretch, Drew Stubbs leads off. Beware the power. But Stubbs also good for a strikeout now and again. There's a strike. Stubbs hitting a .125. He has 8 hits this year, 4 homers. And he took a high strike on a breaking ball. 1-2 the count. And Stubbs couldn't check his swing, and he's retired on 4 pitches. Good start to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Nice pitch, good spot. Boy, again, keeping that ball down, firing it right to the back point of the plate. What you have to do, that's what you got to do in this ballpark, your off-speed stuff. Braves struck out 9 hitters last night. They've struck out 8 today.
One to Charlie Blackmon. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored. It's been a tough out in this series. Over out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think from a young pitcher's perspective, if you pitch well here, you ought to think you can pitch well anywhere.
Right.
Certainly was the case for Julio Teheran a couple of years ago. In the Ice Bowl game here in Colorado, the coldest ever game in the history of this downtown Denver ballpark. 26 degrees officially that day, and Teheran dazzled.
Vizcaíno last night torched 100 miles an hour 2 or 3 times. 98 on that last pitch to Blackmon.
Missed at 98. 2-2. Off Lamarnway's glove and back to the screen. Full count for Charlie Blackmon. Don't want to walk him. He's got 23 stolen bases. Lead to big time trouble. And trouble enough with Arenado on deck.
Yeah, with the top of their order up, can't afford it. Got to make him hit his way on.
That's down the right field line, and it stayed fair. Blackmon on his way to second. A little bobble by Markakis. And Blackmon's going to slide in at third with 1 out.
That's 18 hits by the top 4 guys in the lineup today, and he turned on a bell-tie fastball that had something on it. Give him credit for turning on it. But out of their 18 hits, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers.
Rockies have 18 extra base hits in the series. The Braves have 6. And Atlanta will take the bat out of the hands of Arenado and get after Troy Tulowitzki and hope for a double play ball.
That hasn't happened too often in Tulowitzki's career.
No.
But there's 1 out in the inning. And that was almost a strike. The idea here is hoping for a ground ball double play.
Well, he was awfully close to the outer edge of the plate. Arenado, though, didn't offer. Now Tulowitzki bats. A strikeout would be nice, too. Remember, Tulo had some trouble with the 94-mile-an-hour fastballs thrown by Matt Whistler today. He's also flied out to Markakis in the 5th inning.
Saw Freddie Gonzalez there giving the sign to Anderson back up, play for 2. He's hit in 21 straight, and he's reached base in 36 straight.
Braves want to see those streaks end, as well as the Rockies' 2-game win streak over the Braves in this series today. A fly ball could give Colorado the lead. Fast man at third base. Tulowitzki, very efficient in this situation. And he took a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Back to the screen. It's an even count. Action is beginning in the Braves bullpen. Local boy David Aardsma Left-hander Luis Avila.
Had a good cut at the fastball. As you said, Chip, he had trouble with the Whistler breaking ball today. There was one. Slider.
Too hot to handle for the Rockies fan in the front row. Don't blame him. So Rockies has him set up. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Varnway, a nice stop.
Yeah, beauty, because if he doesn't keep that in front of him like that, oh my goodness, on a breaking ball too, coming up back up into him, and Arenado's able to advance, then you've lost what you set out to do when you walked him. He needs to set up a double play ball.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Tulowitzki is down on strikes. So Vizcaíno rewards Freddie Gonzalez's strategy. He strikes out Tulowitzki. And now Atlanta will go to the bullpen and get somebody else to face Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, that was a good riding fastball. Came right up and in on him. Outstanding job to get the guy that they needed. Now Avilan's got to get Gonzalez.
First and third for the Rockies. Now 2 outs in the home 7th.
This and the Georgia Lottery.
Game on the bases for the Rockies. There are 2 outs. The game's tied 2-2. Fascinating thing about our sport as well, it's fun to manage along with a major league manager. Freddie Gonzalez had a couple of different options here. After Vizcaíno struck out Tulowitzki, to Joe's point, you had the option of walking Carlos Gonzalez here, loading the bases and getting after Michael McHenry with the bases loaded and Vizcaíno on the mound. Instead, the Braves will go get Luis Avilan to face the left-hand hitting Cargo, and Avilan's lefty-righty splits come into play in this situation.
Yeah, so you still go ahead and walk him,
right?
Pitch around him, because his matchups with lefties have not been good. He actually has worked better against right-handers, and if they leave McHenry in the ball game, if they pitch around Gonzalez at all, then you've still got a good matchup. Maybe even better matchup with Avilan against McHenry.
So with 2 outs, Cargo's in the box. He's homered, struck out, and walked. And a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. When we get to the 8th, the Braves will have their 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up.
Staying in. Good idea.
Bouncing ball, foul at the first base bag. Good try by Chris Johnson.
Both feet were in bounds. That would have worked in the NFL. But by staying in, jammed him. And it's not where Chris is and his feet, but where the ball is. That was nice. But now 0-2. They've made him aware of inside. We've already shown you today what he does to pitches on the outer third this whole series. You're going to waste one either way upstairs, which he has chased in this series, or go well off the plate.
Swing and a miss.
Change up.
Luis Avilan came in and disposed of Cargo with 3 pitches, and the Braves are out of 7th inning trouble. We go to the 8th. We wrap up the first half of the year before the All-Star break. Here are your Chevron probable starters.
Alex Wood got washed out here Thursday night, only threw 2 pitches, so he'll be ready to go tomorrow against Chad Bettis. Right-hander, 4-4, 267 batting average against him. I believe that'll be our first look at him.
I don't remember seeing Chad Bettis. Well, his Braves bullpen been good in this series. You mentioned Alex Wood being washed out. That meant the bullpen had to cover 8 innings in the first game of this series. Braves relief corps allowed 5 runs in 12 innings of work against Colorado in this ballpark. That is impressive.
Yes, it is. And in some clutch spots, too. For Luis Avilan to come back after giving up that home run to Gomez the other day in Milwaukee, lost the ball game, come back and do what he did today. Way to go.
Some momentum maybe in the Braves dugout now with Markakis, Chris Johnson, and Uribe coming up. Braves have 2 runs on 4 hits. And Betancourt missed high, ball 1. Check the flags to see which way the wind blows up above the scoreboard. Looks like it's blowing out toward left. There's a shot into center field that almost picked off Mark Ripperger. And there's a start for the Braves. Nick Markakis now with a 6-game hitting streak.
Boy, did he square this one up. Fastball out away from him. Watch the umpire. Duck. Good start to the inning. Now, Chris Johnson's hit great in this ballpark. 0 for 3 today. One of the things to consider is that McHenry does not throw well behind the plate.
Markakis has tried only 1 stolen base this year. He was successful.
First game of the year.
And a shot toward right. Cargo on the run. He's still going. That ball carries high off the fence. Chris Johnson's chugging for 2. Head first slide. He's out. But he chased Markakis around to third base with the go-ahead run. 1 out. That ball kept carrying.
I hope Chris didn't go into a trot thinking that ball was going to go out or be foul, because if he'd been really going, he would have made second.
The Braves are looking for video confirmation of the call at second. This one might be challenged at second base. Safe or out.
Good throw from Gonzalez. Tag, and they're going to ask for some help.
Might as well try.
Sure.
This late in the ball game. The call at second was Chris Johnson was out. So the umpires will go to replay central in New York and either get an overturn or confirmation of the call at second base.
Let's take a look at Chris coming out of the box on this while they decide. No, he was not running hard. Had he been running hard, that would have been a no contest at second.
Instead of second and third, with nobody out, for the moment the Braves have a runner at third and 1 out, as Johnson was thrown out by Carlos Gonzalez on a strike to second base. So while this is being reviewed, other scores. Mets beat the Diamondbacks 4-2. Matt Harvey hit a home run in that game for New York. Miami is bludgeoning the Reds 13-3 in the 8th inning at Marlins Park. White Sox lead the Cubs behind Chris Sale and company 5-1 in the 9th inning. John Lester started that game for the Cubbies. Toronto beat Kansas City 6-2. 7th inning, Minnesota 9-5 over the Tigers after a furious comeback by the Twins in the 9th inning last night. Tampa Bay 3-0 over Houston in the 9th. Oakland 1-0 over Cleveland. That game just underway at Progressive Field.
I think the game at Kansas City last night ended around midnight local time because they had some weather issues and had to come back and play early today.
So a very long review. Maybe that gives the Braves hope.
Boy, that is bang bang. I couldn't tell.
Call is confirmed. Chris Johnson is the first out at second base. Now we'll see how Colorado plays it. Uribe's had a good day. He's homered, singled, and has grounded out. I'd be shocked if they pitch to him. They won't.
Well, they're going to do exactly the same thing the Braves did in the bottom of the 7th. When Blackman got a 1-out triple, the Braves put runners at first and third, hoping for a double play ball.
So Freddie Gonzalez has called Johnny Gomes back. Kelly Johnson's grabbed the bat. He's in the on-deck circle. The Rockies have a left-hander loosening in the bullpen. And with 4 wide ones, Uribe will head to first. Atlanta's got him at the corners with 1 out. Walt Weiss perched on the top step of the Rockies dugout. We'll wait for Kelly Johnson to be announced. Paul Emmel waiting for confirmation from Freddie Gonzalez. Johnson's officially in the game. Walt Weiss looks out to his bullpen. And he's ready to go get Rafael Betancourt. That's exactly what will happen. So it's a lefty-lefty matchup. 8th inning. Game on the bases for the Braves. 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Kelly Johnson will try to put the Braves in front after a quick break. First round pick Christian Friedrich comes on, and he will face Kelly Johnson.
His ERA got elevated a little bit the other night in game 1. He was the 3rd pitcher out of the bullpen for Walt Weiss after the rain delay and the injury to David Hale, but he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in an inning and 2/3.
Kelly Johnson provided the Braves offense last night
with a home run off the left-handed pitcher.
Braves don't mind it when Kelly faces a left-handed pitcher. He's 7 for 21, a .333 average.
And he's tough to double up. That's another part of this.
A fly ball could give Atlanta the lead. There's a ball outside, 1-0 your count.
Just be patient. Be patient. This guy's the one that's in trouble. Make him throw you a good pitch to hit. Low 90s fastball and a lot of sliders.
He's missed with 2 in a row. Now for Colorado, they've got a base open too at second base, and you've got Simmons waiting on deck.
Now, if they walk him, it's the same again. Same thing with Gonzalez. If you walk him, there's no harm done. You still got the force in play if you need it.
They can get it. 2 balls and a strike.
Good arms in the outfield all the way around.
Little tapper. The throw's going to go back to third and in safely is Markakis. Paulson charged, threw a strike to third. Arenado thought he got the tag down, but Markakis scrambled back safely And for the moment, the Braves have the bases loaded and 1 out.
That was really some savvy veteran base running right there. He was reading Paulson. If Paulson goes to second to try to start a double play, he's going to come on home. Paulson draws the throw from Paulson and was able to get back.
And the same scenario for Walter Weiss. Why not take a chance at review? This is a big turning point in the ball game. If Markakis is safe, the Braves have him loaded. If he's out, that's the second out.
Went to the back side of the bag. Jeff Kellogg standing right there.
So it's our second review of the inning. Chris Johnson's tag play at second base was confirmed. The call on the field is safe. Markakis saw the replay. So did Bo Porter, who claps his hands thinking Nick got back safely. And again, will there be enough evidence to overturn the call? Clear and convincing evidence, to be exact. I would think no.
Elbow was bent like his hand was already on the base, so I'm going to say he was safe.
So the Rockies challenge here in the 8th. Another look.
Yeah, he's safe. Right here. Elbow bent from his hand hitting the base.
And the verdict is in. He is safe. So an excellent base running read by Nick Markakis.
I'll say.
Loads him up for Andrelton Simmons, and only 1 out.
So no more reviews available to the managers. And we showed you those splits earlier in the day for Simmons against lefties when he was facing De La Rosa. He has not hit well against lefties this year.
Anderson also leads the clubs in double plays. Rockies play their first and third baseman even with the bag. And up and in. No place to put Simmons. 1 ball, no strikes.
You know, the middle infielders are halfway. They're going to have to read the ground ball. If it's one they don't think they can get a double play on, they got to come home. If it's sharply hit, then they'll try to turn 2. So they're kind of really in between and got to make their mind up quickly.
And do it on a lightning fast infield, as we've talked about too. Don't envy Tulowitzki or LeMahieu in this spot. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Less than half for Andrelton in this situation with a runner at third.
Taken low. Good eye.
Andrelton's getting a little jumpy. He's getting out there a little quick. Stay back. Again, get a good pitch to hit. Hit a fly ball if that's what you can do. Hit a fly ball, and Braves will take their chances.
Popped up. LeMahieu drifts back. Cargo comes in. It's going to be the center fielder Blackman. Markakis goes halfway and can't score on a pop-up. Huge second out for Friedrich. And they're still loaded and we're still tied. Can Ryan Lavarnway pick up the Braves offense? His third inning homer tied our game.
no doubt or two deep into the Braves bullpen.
Funny how the game works. Lamar Wade did not have an at-bat with the bases loaded this year until the 4th inning. He's got one in the 8th with 2 outs as well, and he took a strike. Thinking optimistically, Jace Peterson is on deck. I'd love to see him bat in the inning. That means the Braves would take the lead.
Well, one thing that affected this inning was Chris Johnson not running hard out of the box on that ball he hit off the right field wall, whether he thought it was going to be a homer or foul by not running instead of it being 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. It's a runner at 3rd and 1 out.
And now the Braves down to the last 8th inning strike.
Good pitch there from Friedrich.
40,620 here today. Swing and a miss, and the inning is over. Coors Field has been a house of pain for the Braves offense in this series. Atlanta leaves them loaded, and we're still tied at 2. A bit. That cost him dearly. Colorado pitches out of a mess, and now they come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, still tied. Time for our AT&T U-verse trivia question answer. Matt Whistler's off to a 3-1 start. What Braves rookie has the highest number of wins in a season with a minimum of 20 starts?
I'm going to go with Kevin Millwood.
All right, and I'll say Steve Avery. It was Craig McMurtry. Remember Craig McMurtry? 15 wins back in 1983. Jim Johnson is on for Atlanta. Michael McHenry leads off the Rockies.
Jim's first appearance in the series. Last work early in the Milwaukee series, an inning with zeros and a strikeout. .15 straight scoreless outings. Kelly stays in the game to play left.
Jim's never pitched here.
Is that right?
He's ahead of the Colorado catcher. No balls being parked. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whistler started. Vizcaíno, Avilan, and now Jim Johnson. Fly ball hit toward left. Kelly is on the run. He's going to get there. And there's out number 1. Paulson's doubled today. That came in the 4th inning. The Rockies have left 8 on base so far, and that one's poked out to short. Easy play for Simmons. He's got it. And there's the 2nd out. The Braves have left 9 on base, including the bases loaded twice. Here's LeMahieu. 4 homers, 35 RBIs, and he's 0 for 2 today with a walk. Strike 1. That just missed him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Long loud foul by LeMahieu, who's still alive. That Marlins game's a final. They beat the Reds 14-3, but D. Gordon got hurt. Hurt his thumb on a slide. In that game for the Fish, Gordon vying for a batting title in the league. He'll be lost for a while. That's a shame for the Marlins. Season filled with so much promise has dissolved with injuries to their pitching staff. Giancarlo Stanton and now D. Gordon. And that's high to LeMahieu. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Another head first slide injury. It's too bad.
There's a base hit the other way by LeMahieu. And now decision for the Rockies. Pitcher spot is due next. Let's see who Walt Weiss calls on to pinch hit.
Scalzo was out. Fastball, belt tie, but just fought it off. Again, this guy we told you at the beginning of the series, he likes to hit the ball the other way.
It's going to be William Rosario. So I can get on my soapbox for a minute. If baseball really wants to protect its players, instead of trying to ban home plate collisions, which don't happen too often, how about banning head first slides? Keep players safe. I promise you more guys get hurt that way than running into the catcher. Now back to the game where runner at first and 2 outs.
But there's a couple of other things. You know, I see the double base at first base in softball games for the batter runner to run to a bag that's in foul territory. That would save a few collisions too.
So it's Jim Johnson versus William Rosario, former catcher, current first baseman, and now pinch hitter. Pointed out the other day that he's had the 2nd most pinch hit appearances for the Rockies. He has the most pinch hits on their club with 6. He's 6 for 18. With 3 RBIs and a home run. LeMahieu has good speed at first base. Trying to keep this guy out of the gaps. Rosario, that is. Big right-hand hitter. And he was fooled badly with that pitch. Even count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jim's really been good. And all his pitches working, throwing hard. Looks like he's back to where he was with the Orioles.
Sharply hit, and Simmons flagged it down and threw a strike to second. That ball was pulverized, and the Rockies are out of luck in the 8th. 9-1-2 up for Atlanta. We head to the 9th. Still a 2-2 score.
Toyota.
Off we go to the 9th inning. Our game is tied at 2 apiece. De La Rosa and Whistler long gone as the starters. It's a battle of the bullpens, and the ageless wonder, LaTroy Hawkins, he is on for the 21st time for the Rockies. He's going to face Jace Peterson to start it off.
He looked good yesterday. An inning and 2/3, a hit, strikeout. Got a double play ball when he came in with runners on board in the 6th inning on a 1-6-3 double play turn.
So Christian Friedrich worked an inning of relief with a strikeout, zeros across. And we'll see what Jace Peterson has in store for us leading off the Atlanta 9th. 9-1-2 for Atlanta in the top half. It'll be the same story for the Rockies in the bottom half of the inning. Jim Johnson, a scoreless frame with a hit. And a strike from Hawkins. '21st season in the big leagues for the 42-year-old right-hander. And a comebacker is speared for out number 1. He doesn't get it. Don't know if anybody does. 1 out.
Well, he's a big guy. He's 6'4". Follows through, able to defend himself and field his position, and he snares that line drive.
Cameron Maben, the batter. And he takes outside. Maben's 10-game hitting streak on the line today. He's 0 for 4. Great story about LaTroy Hawkins online today. He's really a sage, a veteran presence in the Rockies locker room. Woke in, of course, with the Twins in 1995. They had some terrific players on that team. He really taught LaTroy Hawkins what it meant to be a big leaguer. There was an old tradition, maybe it still exists, where the veterans would take the rookies when they go on a road trip and buy them their first suit when they made the major leagues. Well, LaTroy Hawkins still does that, even to this day, with the Colorado club. This ball's bounced out to second. And the throw to first makes Maben 0 for 5. In fact, I think Hawkins ran into Johan Santana once, and he brought him his suit that was 12 or 13 years old and said, "Remember this? This is the one you bought me way back when." In our days in Minnesota. And something else he's done, he listens to some of the rookies or young players' interviews after a ball game. In fact, I was talking about Eddie Butler in this story, who talked about what a great job Butler did in a game that he had pitched. And Hawkins afterwards said, "Did you say anything about your teammates?" And Butler just got kind of a blank look on his face and said, "Nope." He said, "Here's how this works. When you win, your team helped you win. When you lose, you wear it." And Butler got the message and went and found the reporters and asked for a redo on the post-game interview. Point for LaTroy was team first, you second. There's that quick pitch, and it's out of play, foul from LaTroy. 1 ball, 1 strike for Pedro Siriaco.
Not much Hawkins hasn't seen.
Nope. That's a little low. Last year he saved 23 games for the Rockies. His best total since 2004. He was with the Cubs. And he's going to have an easy time of it in the top of the 9th inning, and the Rockies get the last at bat at Coors Field. Always a dangerous proposition. 2-2 after 8.5. At second base, and Jason Grilli is on to try to force a 10th.
His first appearance in the series. Saved 2 games at Milwaukee, the first 2 games of that series, including game 2 of that series where he struck out the side to earn his 24th save. Freddie has done this on a couple of occasions prior to today. Freddie Gonzalez, where he's brought in Grilli in a tie game on the road. I know on one occasion Grilli got the win when Williams Perez came in and got the save.
So in the bottom of the ninth inning, Drew Stubbs gets things started for Colorado. He struck out in the seventh. And a strike called. Blackman, then Arenado to follow in the home ninth. Ground ball right side. Chris Johnson's got it. Oh no, Jason Grilli is down as he made his way to the first base bag. Jason Grilli broke for the first base bag and is down in a heap holding his left ankle.
Foot race to the bag to be sure. He was hurting all the way over there. He was hurting all the way over there. I hope it's not what I think it is from my own Colorado experience. But you could see him running and trying to lift his leg up high. And takes off and pushed right there. He was pushing, trying to get that leg in the air, and that's a ugly scene.
And they'll have to bring a cart out to get Jason Grilli into the Braves locker room for more medical attention.
No wait, no wait.
Freddie Gonzalez knows about a potential Achilles too. He's torn his as well. An awful way to begin the bottom of the ninth inning. One of the Braves' best pitchers, one of the Braves' best guys, Jason Grilli, will be taken for more tests. Back to Denver. 2-2 score. Jason Grilli went down in a heap between the mound and first base, trying to get to first base on a roller to Chris Johnson.
Right there, he pushed off with that left foot coming off the mound. And you might remember when Adam Wainwright tore his Achilles, he popped the ball up, and when he looked up and started to run, he used his left foot to push off, and that's when he did it. What Jeff Porter's doing right there is the same thing they did to me. It's called the Thompson test, and they can run their finger along the Achilles, and if there's an indentation, you know. If there's a little gap, you know.
That just makes you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, it's just awful. It's just awful.
So David Aardsma, the kid out of Cherry Creek, Colorado, will come on and pitch. And he's going to face Charlie Blackmon here in the 9th inning. Blackman's got 3 hits. Fast man at first base. Colorado trying to win this game in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a 2-2 score. So now the Braves have to reset emotionally. Yeah. One of the most popular teammates goes down here in the 9th inning.
He's got a couple of sacrifice bunts to his credit already this year.
Took a strike from Aardsma. 0-1 your count.
Braves bullpen down to Fultonevich, Carpenter, and Brigham. Brigham threw 4 innings here on Thursday.
Bunted foul. And now it's 0-2.
Braves' only bench player left is A.J. Pierzynski.
Braves have lost their closer, Jason Grilli, to a lower leg injury here in the 9th inning. And now Aardsma with a man aboard and nobody out. Gets ready for an 0-2 pitch to Charlie Blackmon, the Colorado center fielder. Here it is. And he hit him with it.
Oh,
on an 0-2 pitch.
Goodness. He was trying to get out of the way, kinda. He didn't put his elbow in front of that. But a tough break there on an 0-2 count. This guy ain't button.
I wouldn't think so. Arenado has struck out, popped out, doubled, and walked.
I was wrong.
I'm shocked. But
his manager may be yelling at him too.
Yeah. Man on deck is Tulowitzki, looking for some redemption too. He's got a couple of streaks on the line, his on base streak and his hitting streak. But if Arenado can get Stubbs to third, Tulowitzki and Cargo would have a chance to end the game. No balls at a strike. Not bunting, and foul. 0-2.
This is where a catcher that's been in the game all day can really be of help. Here's what worked earlier today. Here's what didn't. Struck him out on a breaking ball in the first. Struck him out in the third inning on a similar pitch.
First and second, 2 strikes. He struck him out. 1 down. Ardsma reared back and said, hit this.
High target, got it above his hands a little bit. Lived to tell about it. That had some heat on it.
So here's Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki has struck out 3 times today. Clouding up here at the old ballpark too.
Yeah, it is getting later. As afternoon approaches, which it's already here, this is when it starts coming around.
So it's Tulowitzki versus Ardsma. Braves infield men on the mound. Let's see what Ardsma can do with Tulowitzki. Stubbs can fly. Braves want to keep him close at second. Breaking ball missed.
I mean, it's gotten really dark all of a sudden, and no lights. They can't turn the lights on yet. Unfair home field advantage if you turn them on in the bottom half of the inning.
Tulowitzki takes high, ball 2.
They've had luck inside on him today, but 2-0. He's going to be looking for something to drive middle in.
Speed pitch. He didn't get it.
What a good pitch by Ardsma. Good change. Beauty. Saw the split grip there. Might have been a split.
Barnway, a nice stop. And now it's 3 balls and a strike.
And another split finger pitch. Brian LeBarnway continues to impress. Done another terrific job behind the plate today. And has a homer.
Full count.
That appeared to be a straight changeup and thrown almost into a location where you say, okay, I know he can hit it, but I think all he can do with it is pull it foul. At the middle of the plate, but at least they had him fooled. Braves struck out McHenry in a big spot in the 5th inning on a breaking ball and a full count. Let's see what they try here. That was McHenry.
Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. He lost him. They're loaded, and there's no place to put Cargo. So one of Tulowitzki's streaks stays alive. That's the on-base streak. He walks with 1 out to load him up. The 0-2 pitch that hit Charlie Blackmon's looming large in the inning. And now the Rockies have the winning run at third base with one out. And it's Mike Fultonevich who's going to come on to face Carlos Gonzalez. This will be fun. Braves try to take the series finale against the Rockies. It's our final game before the All-Star break. Then we hope you'll join us Friday at 7 Eastern, Saturday at 6:30 for games 1 and 2 of the Braves-Cubs series. Your Braves, your network, Fox Sports South.
I like this move. He's throwing 98, 99 miles an hour the other night out of the bullpen. You got the bases loaded and Carlos Gonzalez up there. Hey, bring in a guy that can throw 98, 99 with a good hook. See if you get a strikeout. Take your chances then with McHenry. But bring on a blazer and see what happens. Even at the risk of ball 4 or a wild pitch. I like it.
Braves have not given up on the thought of Mike Fultonevich as a starting pitcher, but they really like what they've seen of him in relief. And the first pitch popped up. Simmons drifting out, still going. He gives way to Maben, and the ball drops. He fumbles the ball, and the Rockies are going to walk off.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That was a pop-up and an out to the guy with the best arm on the team. '98 popped him up. Andrelton's playing about halfway. He's got to give ground, but he's there. He's backpedaling. Maben still had a play because they were tagging at third with Stubbs. If he handles it cleanly, he can throw home. Shnikes.
The antithesis of a Coors Field pitched game, but it's decided with a trademark Coors Field hit. Rockies walk off in the bottom of the 9th inning and stun the Braves 3-2.
This